Hello everybody, this is something that I needed to make a video about for a long time. This is my newest toy. This is a Sony XAV-AX200 doubled-in aftermarket car radio. For those of you familiar with my car, I already have a doubled-in aftermarket car radio installed, but you know, the time has come that I wanted to get some upgrades and get everything that I want, since I was not the one that purchased my previous radio. And I went ahead and splurged and got me this. Now, this set me back about $200. I was initially going to get the XAV-AX100, which is basically the same thing as this, with the exception of a DVD player and some. There's only one camera input. Not that it really matters. But I would have been paying $15 extra for a used one, and this one is used as well, but it came with its box and everything else. So I just thought, hey, you know what? It's not going to hurt to get a DVD player. I'll never use it, but certainly nice to have. Maybe it'll be worth something in the future. So this is a fairly new radio. It's not been out that long. I actually saw this on display at Walmart. You know those displays that Walmart usually has of various car radios? Well, they used to have them. Our local Walmart took it out, got its taken out a couple months ago. But it did have an XAV-AX100 on display. So, and once I went up to it and I started, usually I like to just go around and play with them, turn the music up, and walk away. But I actually liked the radio a lot, and it was an added plus that it supports CarPlay. Now, typically when radios support CarPlay, especially cheaper radios, the box is filled with advertisements showing it with CarPlay, or in this case, Android Auto as well. But obviously the front of the box shows it without CarPlay or anything. It just shows its default menu, which I absolutely love. It's got a very great menu, and I can't wait to show you. I did not get a Sirius XM tuner with this, so I won't be able to demonstrate that. Well, I wouldn't be able to, since I'm not going to pay for Sirius XM anyways. So it's got 55 watts power outage per speaker, 3 camera inputs versus 1 as the last one did, DVD video, Bluetooth, CarPlay and iPhone, and you can tell I'm just reading off the box. And down here, smart driving meets versatility, and then it's got some extra information about the stuff including some pictures about what it's got with it, although it doesn't actually tell you what it is. It's just kind of mixed between everything else. But what those are is a Bluetooth microphone and a remote. All right, so I would pull it out and show you the pretty little radio uninstalled, but as it happens, I actually have it installed in my car, and I'm remaking this video, so we'll go out and we'll go out to the car and see the radio. All right, so here's the radio installed in my car. I've made several attempts to making a good video about it, and they all seem to be very long and drawn out, so we'll try to shorten this up a little bit. Before I start, though, as you can tell, there's quite a bit of a gap on both sides of my radio. That's because there is a trim ring that's supposed to go around here to kind of cover that up, but these little ridges that are going on the outside of the radio are just kind of too big, and the trim ring won't fit. I guess that's more of a problem with my own car, but it's still kind of weird considering the fact that I thought that we had standards established to prevent things like that from happening, but I guess not. I did have a way for the trim ring to fit with this installed. It was kind of weird, and the volume knob was really hard to operate. And I think it doesn't look horrible without the trim ring, so I am willing to give that a pass. But anyways, let's go and get it started up. If you want to start a timer to see how long it takes to start up, you can do that. So it's not an instant startup, and the first thing it does when it starts up is tell you about for your safety. With the latest software update, that goes away after 5 seconds. With the original software that was on here, it would stay on indefinitely until you press the OK button. I know somebody actually made a patch, I believe you can get it from GitHub, that at least for the AX100, the one without the CD player, was that it would completely disable that message. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, try and modify my firmware, because this is an XAV-AX200, and I wouldn't want to brick my unit, because I know Sony would have no sense of humor and would have no problem telling me to buzz off if I asked them to help me with it. Anyway, so here's the main screen. If you had Bluetooth running, or if you had plugged your phone in before it started up, it would automatically go to that. But since I purposely used CarPlay last, therefore being that there's no default player now, it just goes to its home screen. At the top here, it shows my Bluetooth information. It says that Bluetooth is enabled with phone information such as the ringer's on. I believe if I turn the ringer off... Okay, no, it doesn't change. That's really weird. Okay, well, anyways, I think that's supposed to say that the ringer's on, sound is on, and then it shows right there my signal strength and my battery. And then, of course, here's the time in a very big way, and with very big font, which I really do like. So here's the main screen. It's comprised of these app sort of things, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. And it just slides like that. We have tuner, Sirius XM, USB, Bluetooth audio, phone, camera, and settings. So I guess starting off, let's go to settings first, just so I can get that out of the way real quick. There's basic settings for the radio, demo, date and time, beep. I'll let you hear what the beeper sounds like. That's the beeper right there. I just keep it off. Dimmer, that is to control the dimmer with your car. If it gets power from the headlights, you could turn that off even though you have it connected to your car. You could turn it on to where it's set to the brightness that you've selected for the dimmer all the time, and then you have auto like I have it on. If I turn my headlights on, for example, you can see it gets considerably dimmer. You can actually adjust the brightness of how dim you want it to be. I have it set all the way down to the bottom. Touch panel adjust, camera input rear. I think that just sets the default backup camera. Rear camera line setting. Now this is fairly interesting, and for some reason I have there's something going on along the way to where it's not getting very good connection for my backup camera. But you can actually You can actually set custom lines. As you can see, I can make a custom line. There's 3 of them to choose from, in case my backup camera does not have lines. Steering wheel control, I don't have steering wheel control. Bluetooth device info, Aaron's iPhone. Bluetooth reset, and then just some other stuff down there. And under sound settings, we have extra bass, which actually does a pretty good job giving you extra bass with rather poor speakers, or at least default speakers. It works very well, at least, especially if I want that boom boom. I do like that. It has a subwoofer with default presets, like anything would have. I just leave it on, off. There we go. We also have a balance and fade select. What I do like about this is it actively responds to where you're sliding it. You don't have to tap it once, and you have to tap it every time you want to change it. The only problem that I have with this, and this actually wasn't a problem with my other radio, considering, in fact, there were a lot of things that you would expect them to put in or program in just to make it easier to use, and they didn't, was the fact that there's really no easy way to just set it back to 0. Let's say you're down here, you want to set it back to 0. That doesn't assume that's what you're trying to do and just puts it to 0. You have to manually do that. And it's happened more than once where I'm trying to do that, like trying to push up and I accidentally press there and I have to restart the whole thing. But you can get there in the end. Crossover, DSO, I'm not sure what those are. And then down here we have option to set wallpaper. You can set a custom one if you have one on your flash drive. I just use this one. I think this one looks pretty enough. Key illumination. Now this is a very interesting thing. So you see the buttons on here that are white? With the latest software update, you can actually control these. So they always had it built into hardware that you could control the color of these. But for some reason, the software didn't include it until you updated it. I don't know how that happens. So then just more information, it's stuff about the DVDs, output color system, and then all that other stuff. Nothing very interesting. So there's a camera button right there that just goes to your backup camera. And with the AX200, you have 2 different inputs, which I don't use, but you can if you want to. If we slide on back, we have phone. Oh, I already went through this. Let's go to tuner first, just to show you what the tuner is like. We have copyrighted music. We don't want that. One of the caveats I do have with this radio is that the volume knob is very slow. Let's say you want to hear a good song coming up and you want to turn up real quick. You kind of just can't. You kind of have to slide it very slowly, and that'll do it. Kind of distracting while driving. I just wish it would just quickly do it, but you can't do that. The radio works fairly well. I don't believe there's a way to direct entry into a station, so you have to sit here and do this a lot, especially if it's picking up a lot of stations like this one is now. Well, it's not now, just to make me look dumb, but at the lower frequencies, it picks up a lot more. See? So there's that. Sirius XM, I don't have Sirius XM installed. USB, if you had a USB stick with music on it, you could go to that. But what I use mainly is Bluetooth audio, so we'll go to that right now. I think I need to reprogram this. So, it automatically starts playing. Not that bad of a thing, I guess. What I really do like about this Bluetooth player is it tells you the song name, and it shows down here the artist and the album. And it gives you the time the song has till it's done. And of course you can control it, and then you have these folder plus and folder minus buttons, which I think those are for the USB option. These don't do anything in Bluetooth, at least not for my phone. And then up here we have repeat and shuffle, and then of course you can boost or buck the input level if your Bluetooth if your phone or whatever is playing it too loud or too quiet for you. Yeah, so these buttons also work in here. You can change the songs. What's also interesting is if you slide, I think anywhere, yeah, you could actually change the songs by doing that. I don't think that was actually mentioned in the manual, but it's there for some reason. So that's pretty interesting. And then in the phone, it's a basic phone application. These are calls you've sent and received. These are calls you've sent. This is your phone book, and then this is your keypad, which actually works fairly well. It's very responsive to button presses. I guess I'll go ahead and make a call real quick.
Career and Technical Center. Press 2 for the bookkeeper.
Very simple.
Press 3 for apprenticeship related
there's the keypad.
Information. Press 4 for JROTC.
What you may be able to hear is it's very, very tinny, or he's very staticky. I'm not sure why. You can change the mic gain.
Master Sergeant Mallard. And press 0 for the main office.
And down here, these are presets you can set. Let's say you have somebody you like to call a lot when you're driving. And yeah, the last thing I guess I should demonstrate is the CD. I don't have a... Oh, speaking of which... Sorry about that, I had to use my call feature because somebody called me. Alright, that's what I was saying. I don't have a CD to try. I don't listen to CDs, but I do have this old DVD we can try. It's a SpongeBob DVD, but let's see if we can do this without getting the copyright police involved, because you know they have no sense of humor. So I load that, and you know, I have my parking brake thing set to shorted directly to ground, so I don't have to put in a parking brake mode. But that's because I don't ever watch DVDs. And I was watching this video of an unrelated car radio, and somebody was saying in the video, the person reviewing the radio was saying how they enjoy watching movies while they drive. And that was a plus as far as that radio was concerned. And I was like, I hope somebody pulls you over for that. So there's playing. The screen's actually pretty good. And to navigate through the menus, either you can use the remote, or you can just tap. Same like a computer. And we're going to have some copyrighted music that we don't want to come on using the remote. Which looks like any ordinary Sony remote. They seem to have a very good standard as to what their small form factor remotes look like. This could be one for somebody's camera. So there it is playing. I don't think we want to get the copyright police involved because, I have gotten a cease and desist letter from Viacom before. Anyways, so yeah, I guess one of the last things we have to demonstrate is obviously the elephant in the room, is what everybody wants to see, is Apple CarPlay. And there I am, hi. So we're going to go and plug this in to my lightning cable that I have running to the back of the radio. And when you plug it in, it automatically goes straight to CarPlay. So obviously this is what the CarPlay interface looks like. It looks very Apple-y, and I'm sure if you had an Android, it would look very Android-y too. You show you're up next as far as the music is concerned. You can also go back and see all your songs. It is kind of slow getting through everything, and I thought there was a way you could specifically specify which letter you wanted to go to, but I don't see that. Maybe. Oh, that's because, you know why I don't have that? It's because I have my music set to I have my music set to most recently added. If I go into my sound app and I change that to artist, no, I want to change it to title. My brother has it set to artist, and that infuriates me. Yeah, we have our A to Y because I don't have Z apparently. Maybe they just don't have that because it wouldn't fit. And then you can, go to M, and you have your songs that you could pick. Very nice, very, very nice. So there's that. We also have Apple Radio, and what's also pretty cool is that the Siri will actually find songs just directly through Apple Music if you don't have it. So if I want to have a song that I don't have on my phone, hey Siri, play Californication, and I didn't have to say hey Siri either.
Now playing If I Didn't Have You by Billy Crystal and John Goodman.
That is not what I said. Alright, well. Oh. This is from Monsters, Inc. Okay. Well, we don't want to get them involved either. Because, Disney has no more of a sense of humor than Viacom does, or any of the other ones do. Anyways, so there's that. To get to iOS home, you press that. By pressing this home button, takes you back to the main menu. We wouldn't want that. So we have phone, music, Google Maps, messages, now playing, calendar settings, Waze, yeah, and all that. We also have Apple Maps, which I've conveniently placed off to the side because I don't use Apple Maps, and I would strongly discourage anybody else from using Apple Maps. But yeah, so basically CarPlay is just kind of a slimmed down version of your typical iOS. We do have settings, some very light settings: do not disturb while driving, appearance, suggestions in dashboard, and show album art. I guess if the album art is something of a distraction to you while driving. We also have Google Maps and Waze, if that's something you prefer to use, which I definitely do. Also on the side here, we have quick access to the last apps you've used. The top one is navigation, the middle one is media, and the bottom one is everything else, such as settings, obviously. Yeah, so there's Waze open, and you can report police. Very important. And then Google Maps also works pretty well too. For some reason, you can turn on satellite imagery. I don't know why that's an option, but you do have that in case you want it, and it works very well. There's no pinch to zoom because this is a resistive touchscreen, so instead of doing that, you have to select this button right here and select the plus and minus buttons. But it works very well. Other than that, there's calendar, which is just shows you, I think, the events you got going on for the day, which in this case is nothing. I don't really use my calendar. Phone messages, you can't actually see the phone messages or anything. It's just a bunch. Well, I'm actually not going to go in there because it probably is going to show me my contacts and stuff. But it'll read your messages, and you can use Siri to send a message. But that's about it. Then over here, there's something of a kind of a dashboard, what you have playing. Obviously, that stupid Monsters, Inc. song. We have how far we are to home, and then there's a map that shows that. I am home, but my phone doesn't think I am. So yeah, I guess that is just about it. One thing I did want to bring up, if you have something playing, and it's very loud, press and hold this button for a second. It'll put it almost down to the bottom, not exactly down, so you can talk to somebody by adjusting the volume knob. It'll cancel that. But another thing is, if you turn the car off when the volume's super loud, let's say you're blasting a song and you come back in and you turn the car on, that's exactly what the volume is going to be at. You can't set it to be low when you get back in, which is something I don't like. But you can't have everything, can you? Alright, I guess that's just about it. Thank you very much for watching, and that will be it.